Luke Harper's hands were still shaking when he carried the bleeding child into his cabin. The boy looked up at him with eyes that had seen too much and whispered 6 words that changed everything. My grandfather killed my father. Outside, a woman lay dying in a ditch. Inside, Luke's daughter, Maya, struggled to breathe through another asthma attack. And somewhere in the darkness, a billionaire was hunting. Luke didn't know it yet, but saving this broken family would either destroy him or finally give him a reason to live again. "Daddy, there's a boy in the road." Luke Harper slammed the brakes, the truck fishtailed tires screaming. Maya flew forward against her seatbelt. For one horrible second, Luke saw the cliff edge rushing at them. Then the wheels caught and they stopped. His heart hammered. His hands shook on the wheel. "Stay in the truck," he said. "But Daddy, Maya, stay." He was out before she could argue. Rain hit him like a fist. The boy stood in the headlights, maybe 7 years old, barefoot in pajamas. Blood ran down his face from a gash above his eye, more blood on his hands. His feet. Luke ran to him. "Are you hurt?" "Help!" The boy's voice didn't shake. "Please, my mom." "Where?" The boy pointed down the embankment. Luke's stomach dropped. He looked back at Maya, her face pressed against the window, pale and scared. She clutched her inhaler. No, not tonight. She'd already had 2 attacks this week. "Maya, call 911. Old Ridge Road mile marker 47. Tell them now." He grabbed the flashlight and followed the boy to the edge. Fresh tire tracks in the mud. 20 feet down, a woman lay crumpled against a tree. "That's my mom," the boy said. "Anna." "How long?" "Since the men pushed us out." Luke's blood went cold. "What men?" "The ones my grandfather sent." No time. Luke slid down the embankment, mud giving way under his boots. The woman wasn't moving, blood everywhere. Her face so bruised he couldn't see features, just damage. But she was breathing. "Anna," he touched her shoulder. "Anna, can you hear me?" Nothing. He checked her neck, her spine. Nothing obviously broken, but moving her could kill her. Not moving her definitely would. "Is she alive?" The boy had climbed down behind him, sure-footed, calm. "Yeah, what's your name?" "Evan." "Evan, I'm Luke. I'm going to carry your mom. Can you climb up alone?" Yes, no hesitation, no fear, like he'd done this before. Luke got his arms under Anna. She was too light, way too light. He started up, boots slipping. Evan climbed beside him like a mountain goat. At the truck, Maya had the back door open. She'd spread Luke's jacket across the seat. "I called," she said. "They said 45 minutes, maybe longer." 45 minutes. Anna didn't have 45 minutes. "Change of plans, we're going home." "But Daddy, the hospital." "No arguments, baby." He slid Anna into the back seat. She moaned. Luke's hands were shaking again. When had they stopped? Evan climbed in after her, took her hand. "Put pressure on that cut," Luke told him. He handed over a clean rag. "Above your eye." Evan pressed the rag to his head, didn't flinch. Maya twisted around. "Hi, I'm Maya. I'm 9. How old are you?" 7. Evan didn't look away from his mother. "Your father is a good man." Maya blinked. "Yeah, he is." Luke got behind the wheel. 10 minutes to the cabin, 45 to the hospital. Not really a choice. He drove. Fast, but not too fast. The truck bounced over ruts, and Anna groaned with each one. Luke gripped the wheel tighter. "Ven," he said, watching the rear-view mirror. "Tell me what happened." "My grandfather's men found us at the motel. Mom fought them when they tried to take me. They threw us in the car and drove up here to make it look like an accident." Luke's hands went white on the wheel. "Why would your grandfather want to hurt you?" "He doesn't want to hurt me. He wants to own me." Still that flat calm. "I'm worth $1.3 billion. Maya stared. "You're a what?" "A billionaire on paper." "And your grandfather," Luke said slowly, "he killed your father." "Yes, last year. Made it look like a heart attack. My father was 36 and ran marathons." The cabin appeared through the trees. Small, safe, home. Luke carried Anna inside, laid her on his bed, started checking injuries. Head wound still bleeding, ribs bad, left wrist swelling fast, bruises everywhere. Maya first aid kit, Evan bathroom, all the clean towels. They scattered. Luke peeled back Anna's jacket with shaking hands. Purple bruises bloomed across her ribs. When he touched them, she gasped and her eyes flew open, wild eyes, terrified eyes. She saw him leaning over her and screamed. Her good hand shot up, nails raking his face. Luke jerked back. Anna tried to roll away, screamed again as her ribs protested. "Anna, wait! Get away from me!" She was trying to get up, trying to run. "Where's Evan? What did you do with my son?" "Mom." Evan rushed to the bed. "Mom, stop. He saved us. He's safe." Anna grabbed Evan, pulled him close, her whole body shaking. "Are you sure? Are you hurt? Did they touch you?" "No, Mom, I'm fine. This is Luke. He found us on the road. He brought us here." Anna looked at Luke. Blood from the scratches on his face dripped onto his shirt. Her eyes were gray and full of terror. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I thought, it's okay." Luke stayed back, hands visible. "You're safe here. Both of you." She started crying, big gulping sobs that made her ribs scream. Evan held her hand. "It hurts," she choked out. "Everything hurts." "I know. Let me help." It took 10 minutes to convince her to lie back down. Luke cleaned the head wound while she bit her lip bloody to keep from screaming. Wrapped her ribs, splinted her wrist. Maya brought ice for the swelling. "You need a hospital," Luke said. "No." Anna's voice was hard now. "No hospitals, they track admissions. He'll find us." "You've got broken ribs. Maybe worse." "I've had worse." That stopped him. "What? Please." Her voice cracked. "Just give us tonight. In the morning we'll go. But if we go to a hospital now by morning, my son will be in Edward's custody, and I'll be in a psychiatric facility." "That's his play," Evan said. His voice was still too calm, too adult. "She's unstable, dangerous, delusional. He has doctors who'll say anything for the right price." Luke looked at this 7-year-old child, talking about corruption like he was discussing the weather. "How long have you been running?" "6 months, Anna whispered. "We've tried 12 different cities. He always finds us." Luke's phone buzzed. He ignored it. "One night," he said. "We'll figure out the rest tomorrow." Anna's eyes closed. "Thank you." She passed out. Luke was grateful. Pain was exhausting. His phone buzzed again, and again. He pulled it out. 7 missed calls from his foreman, 3 texts. "Where are you? Big client meeting at 7 a.m. Luke, call me back." He turned the phone face down. When he looked up, Evan was standing at the kitchen table with a screwdriver taking apart Luke's broken radio. "Evan, what are you doing?" "The capacitor is blown." The boy's hands moved fast, confident. "You have a spare in your workshop. I saw it when I got the towels." "How do you know about capacitors?" "My father was an engineer. He taught me things." Maya appeared next to Evan, watching. "What kind of things?" "How systems work. Radios, buildings, people. You identify the broken part and you fix it." Evan's hands stilled. "Except you can't always fix people." The silence was too heavy. "Do you want hot chocolate?" Maya asked. "Daddy makes really good hot chocolate." "I've never had hot chocolate." Maya's mouth fell open. "Daddy, emergency." Luke found himself smiling. "Coming up." He made hot chocolate while Evan worked on the radio. Maya talked non-stop about school, about her asthma, about how her mom died when she was 5. The radio crackled to life. "There," Evan said. "It works now." Luke stared. He'd been trying to fix that thing for 3 months. "Thanks, kid." Evan took the mug Maya offered, sipped. His eyes went wide. "This is good." "Told you," Maya said. They sat at the table, 2 kids who shouldn't have anything in common. Luke watched them and felt something shift in his chest. Maya had been so lonely up here. His phone buzzed again. He pulled it out. Another text from his foreman. "If you don't call back in 10 min, you're fired." Luke looked at Anna, unconscious in his bed. at Maya and Evan heads together over the hot chocolate, at the life he'd built on this mountain, quiet, safe, alone. He turned off the phone. "Evan," Luke said, "tell me about your grandfather." The boy's face went blank. "Edward Marchand. He owns Marchand Industries, tech pharmaceuticals real estate." "How rich?" $42 billion. Forbes ranked him 18th richest person in America. Maya whistled. "That's a lot of money." "Money is power," Evan said, "and power means you don't have to follow rules." "What do you mean?" "I mean my grandfather killed my father and no one did anything because he owns the police, the judges, the lawyers, everyone who matters." Luke leaned forward. "You're sure he killed your father?" "My father was going to expose him, some kind of fraud, financial crimes. He found evidence and was going to go public." Evan's young face was hard now, old. 3 days later he had a heart attack, 36 years old. Perfect health, dead. "Do you have the evidence?" "No, my grandfather's people took everything from our house the day after the funeral, but my father was smart. He hid backups. Where? I don't know. He died before he could tell me." Luke rubbed his face. This was insane. He should call the police right now, let them handle it, except the police worked for Edward Marchand. "Mom tried to go to the FBI once," Evan said quietly. 2 days later our apartment burned down. They called it an electrical fire. We lost everything." "Jesus, we can't beat him, but we can run. We just need time to find somewhere safe." Luke looked at this 7-year-old child talking about running and hiding for the rest of his life. "You can't run forever," he said. "I know." For the first time, Evan's voice wavered. "But I don't know what else to do. I'm 7. My mom is dying trying to protect me and I can't save her." The boy's face started to crumple. Then he pulled it back, swallowing hard. Luke saw it then. The absolute terror under the calm. The child pretending to be an adult because no actual adults would help him. Behind them, Maya suddenly gasped. Luke spun around. Maya was hunched over, wheezing. Her inhaler clattered to the floor. "Maya." He grabbed her, sat her down, found the inhaler. Her lips were turning blue. "Breathe, baby." Slow breaths. She couldn't. Her chest heaved, panic in her eyes. Evan appeared at her side. "Maya, look at me. Look at me." She focused on him. "Count with me," Evan said. His voice was steady, calm. "In for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maya tried to follow, failed, tried again. "Good," Evan said. Again, in 2, 3, 4. Slowly, her breathing evened out. Color came back to her face. Luke held the inhaler to her lips, and she took 2 puffs. "That's my girl," he whispered. Maya leaned against him, exhausted. "I'm sorry, Daddy." "Don't be sorry, baby. You're okay." Evan sat back. His hands were shaking now. "My mom has asthma, too. I've done that before." Luke looked at this kid who'd just saved his daughter and felt something break open in his chest. "Thank you," he said. Evan nodded, then he started crying, not loud, just tears running down his face while he stared at nothing. Luke pulled him close. Hey, you're okay." "I'm not okay." Evan's voice was small now, finally a child's voice. "I'm scared all the time. I'm scared they're going to take me. I'm scared Mom's going to die. I'm scared I'm never going to be safe again." "I know, buddy, I know." "Why?" Evan looked up at him. "Why would you help us? You don't even know us, and when he finds out, he'll destroy you too." Luke thought about Sarah, about watching her die while insurance companies argued and hospital administrators talked about costs, about fighting a system designed to crush people like him, about losing anyway. "Because someone should have helped me once," he said, "and no one did." Evan stared at him. Then slowly he stuck out his small hand like a businessman. "Thank you, Mr. Harper." Luke shook it. "Call me Luke." That night, Maya gave up her loft and slept on the couch. Luke sat in the chair by his bed, watching Anna breathe. Every few hours he checked her pupils, her pulse. She never fully woke. Around 2 in the morning his eyes started closing. He jerked awake, checked Anna again. Still breathing, still alive. Outside, a car engine. Luke was on his feet instantly. He grabbed the baseball bat from behind the door and moved to the window. Headlights coming up the mountain road. His heart hammered. Already they couldn't have found them already. The car got closer. Luke's grip on the bat went white. The car passed the cabin, kept going. Taillights disappeared around the bend. Just a neighbor, just someone driving home late. Luke let out a breath. His hands were shaking again. He checked the door. Locked. Windows locked. He'd never locked them before. Never needed to. Everything was different now. Around 3, Evan climbed down from the loft. "Can't sleep?" Luke asked quietly. "I keep thinking they're coming. They don't know where you are. They always find us." Evan sat on the floor, knees pulled to his chest. "We stayed at a shelter in Oregon once. No names, no paperwork, cash only. They found us in 4 days. How? Facial recognition, security cameras. He has software that scans every camera feed in the country looking for us." Luke felt cold. That's not legal. Legal doesn't matter when you're rich enough. They sat in silence. Then Luke said, "Tell me about your dad." Evan's face softened. "He was tall. He always smelled like coffee and blueprints. He would let me help with his work, even though I was little." His voice got quieter. He said I had a good mind. He said being smart was a gift, but being kind was a choice, and choices mattered more than gifts. "He sounds like a good man." "He was the best man." Evan's voice broke. "I miss him so much it hurts." "I know, buddy, I know." Luke pulled Evan up into the chair with him. The boy curled against his shoulder, small and fragile. Eventually his breathing evened out. Luke carried him back to the loft, tucked him in. When he came back down, Anna's eyes were open. "You're awake," he said. "I heard." Her voice was rough. "Thank you for being kind to him. He's a good kid. He's a brilliant kid, and he's had to grow up too fast because I couldn't protect him. You've kept him alive for 6 months against a man with $42 billion. I'd say you're doing pretty damn good." Anna's laugh turned into a cough. When she could breathe again, tears tracked down her bruised face. I'm so tired of running and hiding and being afraid." She closed her eyes. "And the worst part is, Evan loved his grandfather once. When he was little before Marcus died, Edward was a good grandfather. He taught Evan things, took him places, and I took that from him. You saved him from a murderer. The courts won't see it that way. Parental kidnapping, custodial interference. I'll go to jail, and Evan will go to Edward, and everything I've done will be for nothing. No, you don't understand. I understand that your son is sleeping peacefully right now for maybe the first time in months. I understand that you've kept him sane and safe and alive against impossible odds." Luke leaned forward. "I understand that you're a hell of a lot stronger than you think you are." "I don't feel strong, I feel broken." "Yeah, well, broken things can still be useful." Anna almost smiled. "Is that your philosophy?" "It's what my grandfather used to say. You get broken, you get back up. That's all there is. What if you can't get back up? Then someone helps you. That's what people are for." Anna looked at him for a long moment. "You're going to regret helping us." "Probably. He'll come after you, your job, your home, your daughter. Let him try. You don't know what he's capable of." Luke stood up. "Get some rest. We'll figure this out in the morning." "How?" "I don't know yet, but we will." He moved to the couch where Maya slept, pulled a blanket over her, settled back into his chair. His mind raced. A billionaire hunting a child. A murdered father, a mother on the run. This was insane. He pulled out his phone, turned it back on. Immediately it buzzed with messages. 10 missed calls, 15 texts, the last one from his foreman. "You're fired. Don't bother coming back." Luke stared at it. 5 years at that job. Good pay, benefits, gone. He should feel something. Anger, fear, regret. Instead, he felt nothing, or maybe he felt relief, like he'd been waiting for an excuse to burn his life down and start over. He opened a new browser tab, typed Edward Martian, hundreds of results, Forbes profiles, business articles, society photos. A silver-haired man with cold eyes and a politician's smile. Luke scrolled through, found an article from a year ago. Tech mogul's son dies suddenly at 36. He read it. Heart attack, tragic, unexpected, survived by his wife Anna and son Evan. Edward Martian declined to comment. Luke kept scrolling, found another article from 6 months ago. Custody battle turns ugly for Martian family. Edward Martian seeking emergency custody of grandson. Anna Martian deemed unfit mother. History of mental instability. Child at risk. Luke's jaw clenched. Every word was a lie. He could see it now, the whole setup. He kept reading, found nothing about murder, nothing about fraud, just a grieving grandfather trying to save his grandson from an unstable mother. The perfect cover story. Luke shut off the phone, looked at Anna sleeping fitfully in his bed, at Maya on the couch, at the loft where Evan slept. He thought about his grandfather, about the stories the old man used to tell, about standing your ground when the world told you to run, about protecting what mattered even when it cost everything. You become home for someone else, his grandfather had said once. That's when you know you're alive. Luke looked at these strangers who'd crashed into his life in the middle of a storm. Anna barely breathing, still fighting. Evan too smart and too scared, carrying impossible weight. Maya, his precious girl, smiling again for the first time in months. Home. Yeah, he thought. This was going to be a disaster, but it was his disaster now, and maybe that was the point. Maybe you didn't get to choose when life handed you a purpose. You just had to be brave enough to take it. He watched the sky lighten outside. Another day coming. Edward Martian was out there somewhere hunting, men with money and power and no conscience. Luke had a truck, a cabin, and a stubborn refusal to look away from people who needed help. It wasn't much, but it would have to be enough, because sometimes being human meant choosing the dangerous thing, the complicated thing, the thing that would probably blow up in your face. Sometimes it meant standing between a broken family and the man who wanted to destroy them, even if that man had $42 billion and owned half the country. Even if you were just one guy who'd already lost everything once and had nothing left to lose. Luke made coffee as the sun started to rise, sipped it and watched the mountains turn gold. Beautiful morning, quiet morning, the calm before the storm, because Edward Martian was coming. Men like him always did. And when he arrived, Luke Harper was going to find out what he was really made of. He raised his coffee cup to the sunrise. All right then, he whispered, let's see what you've got. The coffee had gone cold in Luke's hand when he heard Anna scream. He dropped the cup and ran. Anna was sitting up in bed, eyes wild, scrambling backward until she hit the wall. They're here, she gasped. I heard them. I heard the cars. Anna, there's no one here. I heard engines, multiple engines. They found us. Luke knelt beside the bed. That was my neighbor heading to work. Old truck with a bad muffler, that's all. Anna's chest heaved. She looked around the cabin like she was seeing it for the first time. Morning light through the windows. Maya still asleep on the couch. The loft where Evan slept. Where am I? My cabin. You've been here since last night, don't you remember? She pressed her hands to her face. I remember the road, the ditch, then nothing, then waking up and seeing you and thinking. She stopped. I scratched your face. It's fine. I thought you were one of them. I know. Anna's hands were shaking. I can't keep doing this. Every time I close my eyes, I see them. Every sound is them coming for us. I'm losing my mind. You're not losing anything. You're exhausted. Exhausted people don't hallucinate car engines. Terrified people do. She looked at him, really looked at him. You should make us leave right now before he finds out you helped us. Not happening. You don't understand what he'll do to you. Then explain it to me. Anna was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, 6 months ago there was a lawyer in Chicago. Good man. Took our case pro bono when no one else would touch it. He filed papers challenging Edward's custody claim. 48 hours later, the Illinois Bar Association opened an ethics investigation against him. They found evidence he'd been embezzling from clients. Bank records, emails, everything. Had he? No. But the evidence was perfect, unimpeachable. He lost his license, his practice, his reputation. Last I heard, he was working at a car wash. Anna's voice was flat. Edward did that in 2 days. Imagine what he'll do with more time. I'm not a lawyer. I don't have a reputation to lose. You have a daughter. That hit him. Luke looked at Maya, still sleeping. Which is why we're not running, he said quietly. Maya's been alone up here for 4 years. No friends her age. No one but me. Yesterday she laughed more than she has in months. Because of Evan. He turned back to Anna. So no, I'm not making you leave. Not unless you want to. I don't know what I want anymore, except for Evan to be safe. Then let's figure out how to make that happen. Anna laughed bitterly. You can't fight a man with $42 billion. Maybe not, but I can give you time to think, to rest, to come up with a plan that isn't just running until you collapse. There is no plan. Don't you understand? Edward owns everything. Police, judges, politicians. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly how it was designed, to protect people like him. Luke stood up. Then we work outside the system. What does that even mean? I don't know yet, but I know you're not alone anymore. That's got to count for something. Anna started to respond, but movement in the loft stopped her. Evan's head appeared over the edge. Mom, I'm here, baby. Evan climbed down the ladder fast. He ran to the bed and Anna pulled him close, wincing as her ribs protested. You're awake, Evan said. I'm awake. How do you feel? Like I got thrown out of a car. She tried to smile. But I'm okay. Evan pulled back. You're lying. You always scrunch your nose when you lie. Fine, I feel terrible, but I'm alive. Because of Luke. Anna looked at Luke over Evan's head. Yes, because of Luke. On the couch, Maya stirred. She sat up, rubbing her eyes, and saw everyone awake. Is it morning already? Yeah, baby, Luke said. How are you feeling? Good. She grabbed her inhaler, took a preventive puff. Can I make breakfast? Please, I want to make breakfast for everyone. You know how to cook. Daddy taught me. I'm really good at scrambled eggs. Luke smiled. Then scrambled eggs it is. Maya jumped up and headed to the kitchen. Evan followed her. Can I help? Do you know how to crack eggs? No. I'll teach you. It's easy. Luke watched them, these two kids who'd known each other less than 12 hours, moving around his kitchen like they'd been doing it for years. Evan listened intently as Maya explained about cracking eggs on the edge of the bowl. Not too hard, or you'd get shell everywhere. See, Maya cracked one perfectly. Now you try. Evan picked up an egg, tapped it gently, too gently. Nothing happened. Harder, Maya said. He hit it harder. The egg exploded in his hand. Maya burst out laughing. Evan stared at the empty egg dripping down his fingers, then started laughing too. Real laughter. Child laughter. Anna made a sound. Luke looked at her. She was crying. When did he stop laughing? Luke asked quietly. The day Marcus died. I haven't heard him laugh in a year. They watched the kids clean up the egg mess, still giggling. Maya got a new egg and showed Evan the right amount of pressure. This time it worked. I did it. You're a natural, Maya declared. Luke made more coffee while the kids cooked. Anna tried to get out of bed and immediately went pale. Ribs, Luke said. Don't move too fast. I need to use the bathroom. I'll help you. He got her on her feet. She was shaking. Every step hurt, but she made it to the bathroom and back without passing out. You should see a doctor, Luke said, as he helped her settle on the couch instead of the bed. Easier to see the kids from there. Can't. Anna, I know the arguments. I know I could have internal bleeding or a collapsed lung or whatever else, But the second I walk into a hospital, Edward gets an alert. He has people monitoring admission records across 6 states. That's paranoid. That's reality. He did it before. We went to an urgent care in Denver for Evan's strep throat, used a fake name, paid cash. Edward's people were waiting outside our motel 4 hours later. Luke sat down across from her. How does he do it? Money buys everything, including access to systems that are supposed to be private. That's illegal. Anna gave him a look. You really don't understand how this works, do you? Explain it to me. She was quiet while the kids brought over plates of scrambled eggs. They were overcooked and undersalted, but Luke had never tasted anything better. This is really good, he told Maya. Evan helped. Then you're both excellent cooks. Evan smiled, that same bright, unexpected smile. Then he turned to Anna. Mom, you need to eat. I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten in 2 days, please. Anna took the plate, managed 3 bites before she had to stop. Evan looked worried but didn't push. After breakfast, Maya asked if Evan wanted to see her room, the loft, she meant. Evan looked at Anna. Go ahead, she said. I'm not going anywhere. The kids climbed up. Luke could hear Maya showing Evan her books, her drawings, her collection of rocks from the mountain. She's lonely, Anna said. Yeah, Evan is too. He hasn't had a friend in months. We keep moving, keep hiding. He can't go to school, can't play with other kids. This is the first time I've seen him act like a child since... She stopped. Since his father died. Yes, Luke refilled his coffee. Tell me about Marcus. Anna's face softened. He was brilliant, gentle. He saw the good in everyone, even his father, especially his father. She picked at the edge of her blanket. Marcus spent his whole life trying to prove he was worthy of Edward's approval, and Edward spent his whole life finding new ways to show Marcus he wasn't enough. Sounds rough. It destroyed Marcus, but he channeled it into his work. He was going to change the world. Clean energy, sustainable technology solutions to climate change. Real solutions, not just PR. Anna's voice got quieter. Then he found the files. What files? Edward's company was getting government contracts for green technology, billions of dollars. Except they weren't developing green technology. They were fabricating test results, bribing inspectors, delivering products they knew didn't work, all while collecting government subsidies. Luke whistled. That's fraud. That's treason. The products were for military applications. Edward sold the Pentagon's solar panels that failed in extreme temperatures, water purification systems that contaminated instead of cleaned, emergency power generators that didn't generate power. Anna's hands clenched. Marcus found proof, emails, financial records, everything. He was going to the FBI. What happened? Marcus had a heart attack in his office, alone. By the time anyone found him, it was too late. Anna's voice was steady, but her eyes were wet. The autopsy showed a massive coronary event. No signs of foul play, just bad genetics and stress. You don't believe that. Marcus ran 10 miles every morning. He had the heart of an athlete. His last physical was 3 weeks before he died. Perfect health. She wiped her eyes. I tried to tell the police it didn't make sense. They said grief makes people paranoid. I tried to tell the FBI. They said without evidence there was nothing they could do, and all of Marcus's evidence was gone. His office had been cleaned out, his computers wiped, his backup drives missing. Edward. Of course it was Edward, but I couldn't prove it, and then Edward filed for custody of Evan, claiming I was having a breakdown. Delusional, dangerous. Anna's laugh was hollow. The thing is, he was right. I was having a breakdown. My husband was dead, my son was being taken from me, and no one would listen. I felt crazy. So you ran. I grabbed Evan and ran. What else could I do? Watch them take my son and turn him into another Marcus, another broken man trying to earn his father's love. Luke was quiet. Then he said, "You did the right thing." Did I? I've spent 6 months dragging my son from city to city, sleeping in motels and shelters, never staying anywhere long enough to feel safe. He should be in school. He should have friends. He should have a normal life. He should have a mother who loves him. That's what he has. Anna looked at him. Why are you being so kind to us? Why wouldn't I be? Because we're strangers. Because helping us could destroy your life. Because most people would have driven past us on that road and never looked back. Luke thought about Sarah, about holding her hand while she died because their insurance wouldn't cover the treatment that might have saved her, about the hospital administrators who expressed sympathy while denying appeals, about the system that valued profit over people. I drove past a lot of people after my wife died, he said quietly. Told myself it wasn't my problem, told myself I had to focus on Maya, but the truth is I was just scared of getting hurt again, scared of caring about anyone. And now I'm tired of being scared. Anna reached out and touched his hand. Thank you. Her hand was cold. Luke squeezed it gently. Tell me about Evan, he said. How smart is he really? Anna smiled. Marcus said Evan had the kind of mind that comes along once in a generation. By age 4, he was reading high school physics textbooks. By 5, he was correcting errors in published papers. By 6, he was designing his own experiments. That's why Edward wants him. Partly, but mostly it's about control. Evan inherited everything Marcus had. The money, the patents, the intellectual property. If Edward controls Evan, he controls all of it. What happens when Evan turns 18? He gets full access to everything. Edward loses control, unless Evan signs it all over, which he would never do if he's thinking clearly. Anna's voice hardened. So Edward needs to make sure Evan isn't thinking clearly. Isolation medication, psychological manipulation. By 18, Evan will be so damaged, he'll do whatever Edward wants. Not if we stop him. How we're two broke people hiding in a cabin. He's one of the most powerful men in America. Power isn't everything. In this world, it is. Luke started to argue, but a crash from upstairs stopped him. Then Maya's voice excited. Evan, that's amazing. Luke and Anna looked at each other. They got up, Luke helping Anna navigate the stairs to the loft. Maya's room was scattered with electronic parts. Old radios, broken clocks, dismantled phones. Evan sat in the middle, surrounded by pieces. What's going on? Luke asked. Maya bounced on her toes. Evan is building a radio jammer. Show them, show them. Evan held up a circuit board he'd assembled from spare parts. It's not finished, but in theory it should block signals within a 50-foot radius. Why would we need a radio jammer? Anna asked. So they can't track us, Evan said matter-of-factly. Grandfather uses cell tower triangulation to find us. If we jam the signals, we don't show up on his grid. Luke stared at this 7-year-old kid designing counter-surveillance equipment. Does it work? I don't know yet. I need a few more components and a way to test it without actually alerting anyone to our location. I have a workshop, Luke said. Full of parts. Help yourself. Evan's face lit up. Really? Really? The boy was gone, thundering down the stairs. Maya grinned. He's so cool, Daddy. He knows everything. He's special, Anna said quietly. Too special. That's the problem. Luke turned to her. Being special isn't a problem. It is when powerful people want to own you. They went back downstairs. Evan had found Luke's workshop, a converted shed attached to the cabin. He was already sorting through components, his hands moving fast and sure. Luke left him to it and made Anna sit back down. She was pale and sweating. You pushed too hard, he said. I'm fine. You're stubborn. I'm a mother. It's the same thing. Luke brought her water and pain medication. She took it without arguing. They sat in silence for a while, watching Evan work through the window. My father used to say that genius was a curse, Anna said. I never understood what he meant until I had Evan. Watching your child see things no one else can see, understand things no one else understands. It's lonely for them. Maya gets it. She's not a genius, but she's smart, and she doesn't care about normal. They're good for each other. Yeah. Anna closed her eyes. I need to sleep. Then sleep. What if they come? They won't. You don't know that. I know you're exhausted. I know you can't think straight when you're this tired. I know you need rest. Luke stood up. I'll keep watch. I promise. Anna looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded and let herself drift off. Luke spent the rest of the morning working around the cabin. He fixed the loose hinge on the door, checked the locks on all the windows, brought in extra firewood even though it wasn't that cold yet, preparing for what he wasn't sure, but it felt better than doing nothing. Around noon, Evan emerged from the workshop with something in his hands. It's done, he said. The jammer. That was fast. The design was simple once I found the right components. Evan held up the device. It looked like a tangle of wires and circuits. Want to test it? How? Turn on your phone. Luke pulled out his phone, 4 bars of signal. Now watch. Evan flipped a switch on the device. Luke's phone signal dropped to 0. Holy language, Anna mumbled from the couch without opening her eyes. Luke stared at the phone. It actually works. Of course it works. Evan sounded offended. I built it. You're 7. So? Luke didn't have an answer for that. He looked at this child who built radio jammers like other kids built Lego sets and wondered what the hell he'd gotten himself into. Maya came running. Does it work? It works, Evan confirmed. That's so cool. Can you teach me how to build one, if you want? I want. They disappeared back into the workshop, Maya asking a million questions. Luke turned off the jammer and his phone signal returned. 3 missed calls, all from numbers he didn't recognize. He checked the voicemails. The first was his foreman. Luke, I'm sorry about earlier. You're not fired. Just call me back so we can talk about whatever emergency you're dealing with. The second was a number with a Chicago area code. Mr. Harper, this is Detective Morrison with the Chicago Police Department. We're looking for Anna and Evan Martian. We have reason to believe they may have been in your area. If you have any information, please call us immediately. The third was the same detective. Mr. Harper, this is urgent. Anna Martian is wanted for custodial interference and child endangerment. If you're harboring her and the child, you're committing a felony. Call me back. Luke's blood went cold. They knew. Somehow Edward already knew where they were. He looked at Anna still sleeping, at the kids in the workshop laughing about circuit boards. He deleted the voicemails and turned off his phone. Then he went to the window and watched the road. Luke stood at the window for 20 minutes before Anna woke up. You're staring at the road, she said. He didn't turn around. Yeah. What happened? Detective called from Chicago, said you're wanted for custodial interference and child endangerment. Said I'm committing a felony by helping you. Anna sat up too fast and gasped. When? Hour ago, maybe less. Then they're already coming. We need to go right now. Where? I don't know, anywhere. Please, Luke, we can't be here when they arrive. Luke finally turned to face her. I'm not running. You don't have a choice. There's always a choice. Anna tried to stand. Her legs gave out. Luke caught her before she hit the floor. You can barely walk, he said. You think you can run? I'll manage. No, you won't. He helped her back to the couch. Listen to me. Edward knows you're in this area. He doesn't know exactly where yet, or he'd already be here, which means we have time. Time for what? To get ready. Ready for what? Luke, this isn't a fight you can win. The detective will have a warrant. Edward will have lawyers. They'll take Evan and arrest you, and there's nothing we can do. Maybe, but I'm not handing him over without making them work for it. Anna grabbed his arm. You'll go to jail. Probably. Your daughter will be taken by social services. That stopped him. Luke looked toward the workshop where Maya and Evan were still building things and laughing. I know, he said quietly. Then why? Because if I don't fight now, I'll never forgive myself. And Maya will learn that when things get hard, you run. That's not what I want to teach her. What if fighting makes it worse? It's already worse. At least this way we go down swinging. Anna stared at him. You're insane. Yeah, well, sanity's overrated. He went to the workshop. The kids had spread parts across every surface. Evan was explaining resistors to Maya, who was taking notes in a small notebook. Hey, Luke said, can I talk to you both for a minute? They followed him back inside. Anna was standing now, leaning heavily on the back of the couch. What's wrong? Maya asked immediately. Mom, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong, baby. You're lying. I can tell. Luke knelt down in front of his daughter. Some people are coming here. They're going to try to take Evan away from his mom. Maya's eyes went wide. The bad men, worse, the police. But police are good guys. Usually, but sometimes they get tricked by bad people with a lot of money. Evan stepped forward. My grandfather is coming. I think so, yeah. The boy's face went blank, that same eerie calm from the first night. Then we should leave. Right now, before he gets here. I'm not running, Luke said. You have to. He'll destroy you. Let him try. You don't understand. Evan's voice was still calm, but his hands were shaking. He doesn't just take what he wants. He makes sure you suffer for making him work for it. He'll take your house, your job, your daughter. He'll make sure you never work again. He'll put you in prison. Evan? Anna's voice was sharp. That's enough. But Mom, Luke knows the risks. Then why is he doing this? Luke put a hand on Evan's shoulder. Because it's the right thing to do. The right thing will get you killed. Maybe, but I can live with that. What I can't live with is looking the other way while someone hurts a kid. Evan's calm cracked. I'm not worth it. I'm not worth your daughter losing her father. That's not your choice to make, Luke said gently. It's mine, and I'm making it. Evan's eyes filled with tears. Why? Because someone should have stood up for you a long time ago, and since they didn't, I will. The boy broke. He threw his arms around Luke and sobbed. Luke held him and looked at Maya, who was crying too. Daddy, I'm scared, she whispered. I know, baby. Come here. She ran to him, and he held both kids while Anna watched her face twisted with pain that had nothing to do with her ribs. After a few minutes, Evan pulled back and wiped his eyes. If you're going to fight, you should prepare. How? My grandfather will come with lawyers and police. He'll have papers saying he has legal custody. He'll make it look official and proper, but it's all fake. How do you know? Because he doesn't have legal custody. The court case is still pending. He filed for emergency custody, but the judge hadn't ruled yet when we ran. Evan's voice was steady again. He's betting you won't know that. He's betting you'll see the uniforms and the papers and just hand me over. Luke stood up. What if I call his bluff? He'll threaten to arrest you. For what? Harboring a fugitive, custodial interference. He'll make something up. Anna stepped forward. He's right. Edward will have backup charges ready. You can't win this legally. Then I won't play legal. Luke looked at her. Do you trust me? I barely know you. Do you trust me? Anna held his gaze. Yes. Then let me handle this my way. What's your way? Luke thought about his grandfather. About the stories of mountain people who didn't bow to anyone. About community and stubbornness and knowing when to stand your ground. I'm going to call in some favors, he said. He turned his phone back on, scrolled through contacts, found the number he wanted. Jack, it's Luke Harper. Yeah, I know it's been a while. Listen, I need help, big help. Can you get some people up to my place? As many as possible, today. He listened. I'll explain when you get here. Just trust me, please. He made 4 more calls, each one shorter than the last, each one ending with the same response. We'll be there or there. Who did you call? Anna asked. My neighbors. People I've done work for over the years. Good people. What are they going to do? Stand with us. Luke, that's not enough. Edward will have, I know what he'll have, money lawyers, fake badges. What he won't have is this. Luke gestured around the cabin. This is my home. These are my people. And up here, that means something. Evan was watching him carefully. You're going to make it public. Smart kid. If people see what's happening, if they witness it, Edward can't just disappear us. He'll have to follow proper channels. That's the idea. Anna shook her head. You don't know him. He'll find a way. Maybe, but he'll have to do it in front of witnesses. That's better than nothing. An engine sound carried up the mountain. Luke went to the window. A truck was coming up the road, then another, then two more. They're here, Maya said. Luke opened the door. Jack Thompson got out of the first truck. He was 70 if he was a day, wearing overalls and a flannel shirt. Behind him came the Martinez family, the Chens, old Mrs. Patterson from 3 miles down. More trucks arrived, more people. By the time they stopped coming, there were maybe 20 people in Luke's yard. Jack came up the steps. You going to tell us what this is about? Inside, Luke said. They crowded into the cabin. Anna pulled Evan close. Maya stayed by Luke's side. This is Anna and Evan Martian, Luke said. Anna's husband was killed a year ago. Now his father is trying to take Evan. Claims Anna is unfit. She's been running for 6 months to keep her son safe. Why? Mrs. Patterson asked. Why would a grandfather do that? Money, Evan said. His small voice carried in the quiet. I'm worth $1.3 billion. My grandfather killed my father to get it. Now he wants me. The room went silent. That's a hell of an accusation, Jack said carefully. It's the truth, Anna said. And he's coming here, today, probably in the next hour. He'll have police lawyers fake custody papers. He'll try to take Evan, and there's nothing I can do to stop him legally. So what are we doing here? Maria Martinez asked. Luke stepped forward. We're bearing witness. Edward Marchand can buy a lot of things, but he can't buy all of us. If he takes Evan, everyone here sees it. Everyone here can testify about what happened. Testify to who? Someone asked. FBI, media, anyone who'll listen. Luke looked around at his neighbors. I know this is a lot to ask. I know most of you barely know me. But this kid needs help, and his mom can barely stand. So I'm asking, will you stay? The neighbors looked at each other. Then Jack spoke. My grandson is 7, same age as this boy. If someone tried to take him from my daughter, I'd hope someone would help. He looked at Evan. We'll stay. One by one, the others nodded. Anna started crying. Thank you all. Don't thank us yet, Mrs. Patterson said. If this man is as rich as you say, this could get ugly. It will, Evan confirmed. My grandfather doesn't lose. Well, Jack said, there's a first time for everything. They spread out across the property, some on the porch, some in the yard, some in their trucks blocking the road. Luke stood with Anna on the porch, Evan between them. Maya sat on the steps, her inhaler in her hand. They waited. The sun climbed higher. People talked in low voices. Someone brought out coffee. Mrs. Patterson had cookies in her truck and passed them around. Evan took one and held it like he'd forgotten how to eat. How long? Anna asked. Could be hours, Luke said. Could be minutes. I don't know if I can do this. You already are, she looked at him. If this goes wrong, it won't. But if it does, if he takes Evan, promise me you'll keep fighting. Promise me you won't let Evan disappear. I promise. And promise me you'll take care of Maya. Don't let this destroy her. Anna, promise me. Luke took her hand. I promise. A new sound, multiple engines, big vehicles. They're here, Evan whispered. 3 black SUVs came up the road. They stopped when they saw the trucks blocking the way. Doors opened. Men in suits got out, then police officers. Then an older man with silver hair and a face Luke recognized from his internet search. Edward Marchand. He walked up to the trucks blocking the road like he owned them. Jack Thompson didn't move. You're blocking private property, Edward said. His voice was smooth, educated. Move your vehicles. This is private property, Jack said. Mine and my neighbors. You're the one trespassing. I have legal business here. Then you can walk. Edward's jaw tightened, but he nodded to his people. They walked up the road together, a small army in expensive suits and uniforms. Luke stepped to the edge of the porch, Anna beside him, Evan in front of them. Edward stopped at the bottom of the steps. Up close, he looked older than his photos. Tired, but his eyes were sharp and cold. "Hello, Evan," he said. Evan didn't respond. "Anna, you're looking unwell. Have you been taking care of yourself?" "Stay away from us," Anna said. "I'm here to help you, both of you." Edward pulled papers from his jacket. "I have custody papers signed by Judge Morrison. Evan is to come with me immediately." "Let me see those," Luke said. One of the lawyers stepped forward and handed Luke the papers. He read through them. They looked official. Court seals, signatures, legal language. "These are dated 3 days ago," Luke said. "That's correct." "But you filed for custody 6 months ago. Why did it take so long for the judge to rule?" Edward smiled. "The legal system moves slowly, but justice prevails eventually. This says Anna is unfit due to mental instability and child endangerment. She kidnapped my grandson and has been on the run for half a year. I'd say that qualifies." Luke looked at Anna. She was pale but standing straight. "Did you kidnap Evan?" he asked her. "No, I'm his mother. I have legal custody." "See," Edward said smoothly, "delusional. She thinks running from a court order is legal custody." "There was no court order 6 months ago," Evan said suddenly. His voice was clear and loud. "You filed for custody after we left. You had no legal right to us." Edward's smile didn't change, but his eyes went hard. "Evan, you've been through a trauma. Your mother has filled your head with lies. Come with me, and we'll get you help." "I don't need help. I need you to leave us alone." "I can't do that. You're my grandson, my responsibility." "You killed my father." The words hung in the air. The neighbors shifted. The police officers looked uncomfortable. Edward's face didn't change. "Your father died of a heart attack. I know grief makes people look for someone to blame, but—" "You killed him," Evan said again, louder. "You killed him because he found proof you were committing fraud. Government contracts for green technology that didn't work. Billions of dollars in fake products. He was going to expose you." "That's enough," one of the lawyers said, but Evan kept going. "You killed him and made it look like a heart attack, and then you tried to take me so you could control my inheritance. But I won't let you. I won't sign anything over to you. Ever." Edward's mask slipped, just for a second. Luke saw real anger flash across his face. "Evan, you're 7 years old. You don't understand what you're saying." "I understand perfectly. You're a murderer and a thief, and I hate you." Edward took a step forward. "You're coming with me, now." Luke moved in front of Evan. "No, he's not. You have no legal authority here. Neither do you. Those papers are fake. Judge Morrison didn't sign them." Edward's eyes narrowed. "How would you know that?" "Because Evan's smart enough to look up court records. There's no ruling in your case. It's still pending." One of the police officers stepped forward. "Sir, is that true?" "Of course not," Edward said, but his voice was less certain. "Then call Judge Morrison," Luke said. "Right now. Have him confirm he signed those papers." Edward didn't move. "You can't," Luke said, "because he didn't. You forged them. That's slander. That's the truth, and everyone here heard it." Edward looked around at the neighbors. At the phones, some of them were holding up recording. His face went cold. "You're making a mistake," he said quietly. "All of you. You have no idea who you're dealing with." "We know exactly who we're dealing with," Jack said from his truck. "A man who thinks money makes him above the law." "Money makes the law," Edward said, "and all of you are about to learn that." He turned to the police officers. "Arrest them. The mother for custodial interference, him for harboring a fugitive, all of them for obstruction." The officers looked at each other. One of them, younger than the others, stepped forward. "Sir, we can't arrest people without cause." "I just gave you cause." "Sir, with all due respect, if those papers are fake, they're not fake." Edward's voice was sharp now, angry. Do your job, or I'll make sure you never work in law enforcement again." The young officer's face went hard. "Are you threatening me, sir? I'm promising you." "Then I guess I'll have to live with that." The officer turned to Luke. "Sir, do you want to file a complaint about those forged documents?" Luke almost laughed. Yeah, I do." Edward's face went purple. "You stupid boy. Do you know what I can do to you, to your career, to your family?" "I know what you think you can do," the officer said, "but I've got 20 witnesses with cameras who just heard you threaten a police officer and admit to forgery, so maybe you should leave before this gets worse for you." For the first time, Edward looked uncertain. He turned to his lawyers. "Fix this," he said. "Sir," one of them said carefully, "perhaps we should regroup and fix it." But there was nothing to fix. The neighbors weren't moving, the officer wasn't backing down, and Evan stood on the porch between Luke and Anna, his small face set with determination. Edward looked at his grandson. "This isn't over." "Yes, it is," Evan said. "I'm not going with you. This is my home now. These are my people, and you can't take that from me. You're a child. You don't get to decide. I'm your grandson, and you should love me enough to let me go." Something flickered across Edward's face. Surprise, maybe, or pain, but it was gone in an instant. "You'll regret this," he said. "All of you. I'll be back in 3 days with real police and real papers, and there won't be anything you can do to stop me." He turned and walked back to his SUVs. His people followed. The vehicles started up and drove away, backing down the mountain road. When they were gone, nobody moved for a long minute. Then Maya started crying, not scared crying, relief crying. She ran to Luke and he picked her up and held her while she sobbed into his shoulder. "Is it over?" she asked. "For now," Luke said. Anna's legs gave out. Luke caught her with his free arm. The neighbors rushed forward to help. "Inside," Mrs. Patterson said. "Get her inside." They carried Anna back to the couch. Evan stayed glued to her side, holding her hand. "You were so brave," Anna told him. "I was terrified." "That's what brave is." Jack came in looking serious. He meant what he said. He'll be back, and next time he'll come with real authority. "I know," Luke said. "So what's the plan?" "I don't know yet." "Better figure it out fast. You've got 3 days." The neighbors started leaving one by one. Each stopped to talk to Evan to tell him he was brave to promise they'd come back if needed. By sunset, only Jack remained. "You did good today," he told Luke, "but this is just beginning." "I know. Edward Martian has more money than God. He won't stop. Neither will I." Jack smiled. "Your grandfather would be proud." After he left, Luke locked the doors and checked the windows. Maya had fallen asleep on the couch next to Anna. Evan sat at the table staring at nothing. "You okay?" Luke asked. "I told him I hated him." "Did you mean it?" "I don't know. He's my grandfather. I used to love him." Evan's voice was small. "Before he killed my dad, he was different. He taught me things. He was proud of me. People change. Or maybe I just didn't see who he really was." Luke sat down next to him and, "Hey, you were 5 years old. You're not supposed to see the evil in people. That's what being a kid means." "I'm not a kid anymore." "You're 7. I stopped being a kid the day my father died." Luke didn't know what to say to that. He just put his arm around Evan and let the boy lean against him. "We have 3 days, Evan said finally. "Yeah. What happens then?" "I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Together. Evan was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Can I ask you something? Anything? Why did you really help us? And don't say because it's the right thing. There has to be more than that." Luke thought about Sarah, about holding her hand while she died, about the rage and helplessness and grief, about looking at Maya afterward and wondering how to keep living. "My wife died 4 years ago," he said quietly. "Cancer. We had insurance, but it wasn't enough. The treatment that might have saved her cost more than I could make in 10 years. I begged the hospital, begged the insurance company, begged everyone. They all said no." He paused. I stood there and watched her die because I didn't have enough money, because the system valued profit over her life, and I couldn't do anything about it. I'm sorry. Me too, but the worst part came after, when I realized no one cared. Her death was just a number to them, a cost-benefit analysis, and I was so angry I couldn't see straight. Luke looked at Evan. Then yesterday I found you on that road, and I saw your mom beaten and bleeding, and I saw a system that was about to crush you the same way it crushed Sarah, and I thought, not this time I fight. Evan's eyes were wet. You can't save everyone. No, but maybe I can save you, that's enough. The boy threw his arms around Luke and held on tight, and Luke held him back and thought about how 3 days wasn't nearly enough time to figure out how to beat a billionaire, but it was the time they had, so they'd make it count. Luke woke up at dawn with his neck stiff from sleeping in the chair. Again, Anna was still asleep on the couch. Maya and Evan were tangled together in the loft, 2 kids who'd known each other 3 days and acted like siblings. 3 days. That's what Edward had said. 2 were already gone. Luke stood and stretched. His back cracked. He was too old to be sleeping in chairs, but he wasn't about to take the bed while Anna needed it. His phone buzzed. A text from Jack Thompson. Meeting at my place. 9 a.m. Bring everyone. Luke made coffee and waited for the cabin to wake up. Anna stirred first. She sat up slowly, testing her ribs. Better, Luke asked. Still hurts, but I can breathe without wanting to scream, so that's progress. Good enough to walk. Why? Jack called a meeting. I think he's got a plan. Anna's face went tight. What kind of plan? Don't know yet, but Jack's smart. We should hear him out. Luke, these people have already done so much. We can't ask them for more. We're not asking, they're offering. They don't understand what they're up against. Luke poured her coffee. Yeah, they do. They were there yesterday. They saw Edward for exactly what he is. And they're still willing to help. Apparently. Anna took the coffee with shaking hands. I don't understand people like you. Like them. People who help strangers for no reason. There's always a reason. What's theirs? Probably the same as mine. They're tired of watching rich people crush everyone else. The kids came down from the loft. Evan looked tired. Maya bounced with nervous energy. Is today the day? She asked. Tomorrow, Luke said. Today, we prepare. For what? That's what we're going to find out. They ate breakfast quickly, eggs and toast. Evan pushed his food around his plate. You need to eat, Anna told him. I'm not hungry. Eat anyway. He took 3 bites to make her happy, then stopped. Anna didn't push. She understood. Fear had a way of killing appetite. They drove to Jack's place in Luke's truck. Anna in front, kids in back. The radio was playing some old country song about standing your ground. Luke turned it off. Jack's property was bigger than Luke's. A main house and 3 outbuildings. There were already a dozen trucks in the driveway when they arrived. This is a lot of people, Anna said quietly. Yeah. Luke, I can't let them risk everything for us. Too late, they already decided. Inside Jack's living room was packed. All the neighbors from yesterday, plus more. Mrs. Patterson was there with her daughter, the Martinez family, the Chens, people Luke recognized from town, people he'd worked for over the years. Luke, Jack said. Good, we're all here. Let's get started. Everyone found seats. Luke stood with Anna and the kids near the door, ready to run if needed. Old habits. Jack stood in the middle of the room. Everyone knows why we're here. Edward Marchand is coming back tomorrow with real police and real papers. We stopped him once, but we won't stop him again. Not the same way. So what do we do? Maria Martinez asked. We go bigger. We make this too public for him to ignore. News coverage, social media, everything. We make sure the whole world is watching when he tries to take that boy. He'll still take him, someone said. Rich people always win. Not always, Jack said. Sometimes they lose, but only when regular people stand together and refuse to back down. Evan stepped forward, his small voice carried in the quiet. Mr. Thompson, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but my grandfather owns media companies. He controls the narrative. Whatever you say, he'll spin it to make my mother look unstable and me look like a victim who needs rescuing. Kid's got a point, someone muttered. He does, Jack agreed. Which is why we're not going through his media. We're going through ours, direct to people, no filters. How? Anna asked. Social media. We film everything, live stream it, upload it everywhere. Let people see what's really happening. Edward will have it taken down. Maybe, but not before thousands of people see it, and once it's out there, it spreads. That's the thing about the internet. You can't control it, not completely, not even with $42 billion. Luke felt something shift in his chest. Hope, maybe, or just desperate faith that Jack knew what he was talking about. What do you need from us? He asked. Cooperation. Anna, I need you to tell your story on camera, the real story, everything. Anna went pale. I can't. You have to. You don't understand. If I go public, if I put myself out there like that, Edward will destroy me. He has lawyers who will pick apart every word. He has doctors who will say I'm delusional. He'll make me look like a monster. Let him try, Mrs. Patterson said. Her voice was firm. Let him try to make a mother protecting her child look like a monster. Let people see him do it. That's what we're counting on. But what if it doesn't work? What if people believe him? Some will, Jack said. Rich people always have defenders, but some won't. And those are the people we're trying to reach, the ones who know the system is rigged, the ones who are tired of watching the powerful get away with everything. Evan tugged on Anna's hand. Mom, we should try. Baby, what else are we going to do? Run again for how long? Forever. His voice cracked. I'm tired of running. I want to stay here with Luke and Maya, with people who care about us, please. Anna looked at her son, then at Luke, then at all these people who'd gathered in a stranger's living room to help a woman and child they barely knew. Okay, she whispered. Okay, I'll do it. Jack nodded. Good, we'll film this afternoon. Get your story straight. Make it clear and simple. The more complicated it is, the easier it is for Edward to twist. What about the rest of us? Maria asked. We prepare. Tomorrow when Edward comes, we're ready. Phones charged, cameras rolling. Everyone streams live. The more angles, the better. What if the police shut it down? They can't. Not legally. We're on private property. We have a right to film. Edward will find a way. Probably. But we make it hard for him. We make him work for it, and every second we delay is another second for the truth to spread. They spent the next hour planning who would stand where, who would film, who would upload. It was military precision applied to social media warfare. Luke listened and felt that desperate hope growing. This might actually work. It was a long shot, but it was something. After the meeting, they went back to Luke's cabin. Anna was quiet on the drive. Evan held her hand. You don't have to do this, Luke said. Yes, I do. Anna, he's right. Evan's right. We can't keep running. Sooner or later, we have to make a stand. She looked out the window. I just wish I was braver. You're the bravest person I know. I'm terrified. That's what makes it brave. Back at the cabin, Luke set up his phone on a tripod. Anna sat in the chair by the window. Natural light, no makeup, just her bruised face and tired eyes and the truth. Whenever you're ready, Luke said. Anna took a breath. My name is Anna Marchand. A year ago, my husband Marcus was murdered by his father Edward Marchand. I can't prove it. I have no evidence. But I know in my bones that Marcus was killed because he found proof his father was committing fraud. Government contracts for green technology, billions of dollars, all fake. She paused. Luke nodded encouragement. Marcus was going to expose him. 3 days later, Marcus had a heart attack. 36 years old, perfect health, dead. Her voice shook. The police said there was no foul play. The autopsy said natural causes, but all of Marcus's evidence disappeared. His office was cleaned out, his computers wiped, everything gone. Tears started, but she kept talking. Edward filed for custody of our son, Evan, said I was unstable, dangerous, unfit. He had doctors ready to testify, lawyers ready to argue, money ready to buy whatever he needed. So I ran. I grabbed my son and ran, and we've been running for 6 months. She wiped her eyes. I know how this looks. I know I seem crazy, a grieving widow making wild accusations against a powerful man, but I'm not crazy. I'm desperate. Because if Edward gets custody of Evan, I'll never see my son again, and Evan will be raised by the man who killed his father, taught to forget, taught to obey, taught that money and power are all that matter. Anna looked directly at the camera. So I'm asking for help. I'm asking anyone watching this to share it, to spread it, to make sure people know what's happening. Because tomorrow, Edward Marchand is coming to take my son, and if no one is watching, he'll succeed. But if the world is watching, maybe, just maybe, we have a chance. She stopped. Luke turned off the camera. That was perfect, he said. It was terrible. I sounded pathetic. You sounded honest. Honest doesn't win against rich. Maybe not, but it's all we've got. Luke uploaded the video to every platform he could think of. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. He tagged news organizations. He tagged advocacy groups. He tagged anyone he thought might care. Within an hour, it had 50 views. Within 2 hours, 500. By dinner, 5,000. It's working, Evan said, watching the numbers climb on Luke's phone. People are sharing it. Some people, Anna said. She was reading comments. Most were supportive, but some were vicious. Calling her a liar, calling her crazy, calling her a gold digger, trying to smear a good man's name. Don't read those, Luke said. I have to know what we're up against. You already know. Reading that garbage won't help. She put the phone down. You're right. I just feel so helpless. Maya came over and climbed into Anna's lap, careful of the ribs. You're not helpless, Maya said. You're fighting. That's different. Anna hugged her. When did you get so wise? Daddy teaches me things. He's a good teacher. They ate dinner together, pasta with jarred sauce. Nothing fancy, but it was warm and filling. Evan actually ate this time. Progress. After dinner, Luke checked the video again. 50,000 views. Comments flooding in faster than he could read. Some news outlets had picked it up, small ones, local stations, but it was spreading. His phone rang. Unknown number. Luke answered carefully. Mr. Harper, who's this? Detective Sarah Chen, FBI. I saw Anna Marchand's video. Is she there? Luke's heart stopped. Why? Because I'd like to help her. How do I know you're really FBI? You don't, but I'm going to give you a number to call. It's the FBI field office in Seattle. Ask for Detective Chen. They'll patch you through to me. That way you know I'm legitimate. Luke wrote down the number. Hold on. He called from Anna's phone, got patched through to the same woman. Satisfied? She asked. Getting there. What do you want? To talk to Anna, off the record. I've been investigating Edward Marchand for 2 years. Bank fraud, securities fraud, government contract fraud. But he's slippery. Every time we get close, evidence disappears. Witnesses change stories. We can't make anything stick. So what do you need from Anna? Her testimony, her story, anything she knows about Marcus's evidence. She already told you. It's all gone. Maybe not. Edward is thorough, but nobody's perfect. If Marcus hid backups, there's a chance they still exist. Anna might know where. Luke looked at Anna. She was watching him with frightened eyes. She's been through hell, he said into the phone. I'm not putting her through an interrogation. I'm not asking for an interrogation, just a conversation, 30 minutes, that's all. And if Edward finds out you're investigating him, he already knows. We've interviewed him 3 times. He lawyers up, says nothing useful, and walks away clean every time. Then why bother? Because I don't give up. And because that video just gave us something we didn't have before. public attention. The more people watching, the harder it is for Edward to make evidence disappear. Luke covered the phone. Anna, FBI, wants to talk to you. Says she's investigating Edward. It's a trap. Maybe, or maybe it's a chance. Anna closed her eyes. Put her on speaker. Luke did. Detective Chen, Anna's listening. Mrs. Marchand, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for everything you've been through, and I'm sorry the system has failed you, but I'd like to try to make it right. You can't, Anna said. He's too powerful. He's powerful, but he's not invincible. We just need the right evidence, something concrete, something he can't explain away. I don't have that, but Marcus might have. You knew him better than anyone. If he hid evidence, where would he hide it? Anna was quiet for a long time. Then she said, he had a safety deposit box at a bank in Chicago under a fake name. He set it up years ago as an emergency fund, cash passports, that kind of thing. I only knew about it because he told me once when he was drunk. What name? James Patterson, box number 447 at First National Bank, downtown. Detective Chen was quiet. Luke heard typing. Mrs. Marchand, if there's evidence in that box, and if we can get a warrant to access it, that could change everything. Edward will fight it. Let him. Fighting looks guilty, and if this video keeps spreading, if enough people are watching, the judge will have a hard time denying our warrant. And if you're wrong, if there's nothing there, then we're back where we started, but at least we tried. Anna looked at Luke. He nodded. Okay, she said. Do what you need to do. Thank you. I'll be in touch. The call ended. Anna stared at the phone. Did I just make a huge mistake? No, Luke said. You gave us a fighting chance. That night, the video hit 200,000 views. News outlets were calling. Big ones this time. CNN wanted an interview. So did MSNBC, local stations from 6 states. We should do them, Jack said when Luke called him. All of them. The more coverage, the better. Anna's exhausted. I know, but tomorrow's the deadline. This is our last chance to make noise. Luke looked at Anna. She was lying on the couch with her eyes closed. Evan sat beside her reading a book. Maya was teaching him how to play checkers. One interview, Luke said. National outlet, tomorrow morning before Edward arrives. That's it. Done. I'll set it up. Luke hung up and sat down hard. His body ached, his head pounded. He'd been running on adrenaline and coffee for 3 days, and it was catching up. Anna opened her eyes. You should sleep. So should you. I can't. Every time I close my eyes, I see tomorrow. I see them taking Evan. I see him in Edward's house being molded into something he's not. I see him forgetting me. That won't happen. You don't know that. I know we're fighting. I know we're not giving up. That's enough. Is it? Luke didn't have an answer for that. Maya came over and climbed into his lap. Daddy, I'm scared about tomorrow. Me too, baby. What if they take Evan? Then we keep fighting until we get him back. But what if we can't? Luke pulled her close. Then at least we tried. That's all we can do. Try our best and hope it's enough. She buried her face in his shoulder. I don't want Evan to go. He's my friend. I know. He's more than my friend. He's like my brother. Luke's throat got tight. Yeah, he is. Evan looked up from his book. Maya, if I have to go, it's not forever. I'll find a way back. I promise. Don't promise, Maya said. Promises break. Not this one. Luke watched these 2 kids trying to be brave for each other and felt something break in his chest. They were too young for this, too young to worry about custody battles and billionaire grandfathers and broken families. But here they were anyway, because the world didn't care about what was fair. Bedtime, Luke said. Everyone, we need rest for tomorrow. The kids protested, but not much. They were exhausted too. Maya and Evan climbed to the loft together. Luke heard them whispering but couldn't make out words. Anna tried to stand. Luke helped her. I can't sleep in your bed again, she said. Where else are you going to sleep? The couch. Your ribs need support. Take the bed. Luke, no arguments. Please. She looked at him, really looked at him. Why are you so good to us? I already told you. Tell me again. Luke thought about Sarah, about Maya growing up without a mother, about all the nights he'd sat in this cabin wondering what the point was. Why keep going? Why keep fighting? Because you make me remember why it matters, he said quietly. Being human, caring about people, standing up even when you know you'll probably lose. You and Evan, you reminded me what that feels like. Anna's eyes filled with tears. We're probably going to lose tomorrow. Probably. And you're still here. Where else would I be? She stood on her toes and kissed his cheek. Thank you for everything. Then she went to bed and Luke was alone with his thoughts. He checked the video one more time. 500,000 views. 1 million by morning at this rate. People were angry. People were sharing. People were paying attention. Maybe it would be enough. Maybe it wouldn't. But at least they'd fought. At least they'd tried. Luke turned off the lights and settled into his chair. Outside, the mountain was quiet. Stars scattered across the sky, beautiful and indifferent. Tomorrow, Edward Martian would come with police and lawyers and all the power money could buy. And Luke Harper would stand on his porch with a broken family and a bunch of mountain people and hope that decency counted for something. It probably wouldn't, but he'd find out anyway, because sometimes the only choice was to stand your ground and see what happened, even when you knew exactly what was coming, even when you knew it would probably destroy you. You stood anyway. That's what being human meant. Luke closed his eyes and waited for tomorrow. Luke woke to his phone ringing. 5 in the morning, still dark outside. Mr. Harper, this is CNN. We're ready for that interview whenever Mrs. Martian is available. Luke rubbed his face. Give us an hour. He made coffee strong enough to stand a spoon in. Anna came out of the bedroom looking worse than yesterday. The bruises on her face had turned a sickly yellow-green. You don't have to do this, Luke said. Yes, I do. They sat up in front of the window again, natural light just starting to come through. The CNN reporter appeared on Luke's laptop screen, professional and serious. Mrs. Martian, thank you for speaking with us. Your video has now been viewed over 2 million times. People across the country are following your story. Can you tell us what's happening today? Anna's hands shook, but her voice stayed steady. Today, my father-in-law, Edward Martian, is coming to take my son. He has lawyers and police and custody papers that may or may not be legitimate, and I'm terrified because I know what will happen if he succeeds. What will happen? He'll erase Evan. My son is brilliant and kind and everything his father was. Edward can't allow that. He needs Evan broken, compliant, so he'll isolate him, medicate him, convince him that I abandoned him. By the time Evan turns 18, he won't remember who he really is. Those are serious allegations against one of the wealthiest men in America. I know, and I can't prove most of them, but I can prove he's coming here today to take a child who doesn't want to go. I can prove that child is terrified of him, and I can prove there are questions about how my husband died that were never properly investigated. The reporter leaned forward. The FBI has confirmed they're investigating Edward Martian for fraud. Can you comment on that? Anna blinked. I didn't know that was public. It broke an hour ago. Multiple sources confirming a 2-year investigation into Martian Industries for government contract fraud. Luke's heart jumped. Detective Chen had moved fast. I hope it's true, Anna said carefully. I hope someone is finally looking into what my husband died trying to expose. But even if the FBI proves Edward committed fraud, that doesn't prove he killed Marcus. It doesn't prove he's unfit to have custody. The legal system doesn't work that way. So what are you asking people to do? Watch. Just watch. When Edward arrives today, when he tries to take Evan, I need the world to see it. I need people to witness what happens when money and power clash with a mother's love, because maybe, just maybe, if enough people are watching, the outcome will be different. The interview ended. Within minutes, it was everywhere. Twitter exploded, Facebook feeds filled with shares. The video view count climbed past 3 million. Luke's phone rang again. Jack Thompson. Turn on the news, any channel. Luke found a news station. They were showing Anna's video, talking about Edward Marchand, showing clips of the FBI investigation. The anchor looked grim. This story has captured national attention. A mother fighting to protect her son from one of America's wealthiest men. We'll have updates throughout the day as this situation develops. It's working, Jack said over the phone. The whole country is watching. Will it be enough? I don't know, but it's more than we had yesterday. People started arriving at 8, the same neighbors from before, plus dozens more. They lined the road. They stood in Luke's yard. They held phones ready to record. Mrs. Patterson brought food. The Martinez family brought coffee. Someone set up a folding table. Someone else brought chairs. It looked like a community gathering, a picnic. Except everyone's eyes kept drifting to the road, waiting. Maya and Evan sat on the porch steps, close together, not talking, just being. Anna paced, 3 steps one way, 3 steps back. Luke wanted to tell her to rest, but he understood. Sitting still when your world was about to explode was impossible. At 9:30, Detective Chen called. "We got the warrant," she said, "for Marcus's safety deposit box. We're opening it in 1 hour." "What if there's nothing there?" Anna asked. She was on speaker. "Then we keep looking. But Mrs. Marchand, I've been doing this a long time. Men like Marcus, men who know they're in danger, they leave trails. Trust me." The call ended. Anna looked at Luke. "An hour. We just need to hold him off for 1 hour." "We'll hold him off as long as it takes." At 10 o'clock, the engine started. Multiple vehicles coming up the mountain fast. "They're here," someone said. Everyone moved into position, phones up, cameras recording, streaming live to thousands of people. 6 SUVs, this time, more than before. They stopped at the blockade of trucks. Doors opened. Edward Marchand stepped out. Behind him came men in suits, police officers, sheriff's deputies, a woman with a briefcase who looked like a lawyer, and behind them all a news crew. "He brought his own cameras," Jack muttered. "Of course he did," Luke said. "Control the narrative." Edward walked through the blockade like he owned it. His people followed. He stopped at the bottom of Luke's porch steps and looked up at Anna. "This is your last chance," he said. "Give me Evan voluntarily and we can handle this quietly. No charges against you. No criminal record, just supervised visitation and counseling." "No," Anna said. "You're making this harder than it needs to be. I'm protecting my son." Edward pulled papers from his jacket. "I have a court order signed by Judge Morrison this morning. Full custody pending psychiatric evaluation of the mother. It's legal, it's binding, and if you don't comply, you'll be arrested for contempt." "Let me see that," Jack said. The lawyer handed the papers up. Jack read through them carefully. "These look legitimate," he said quietly to Luke. Luke's stomach dropped. "Are they?" "I think so. The seal is right. The signature matches samples online, unless this judge is corrupt." "He is," Evan said. His small voice carried. "Judge Morrison plays golf with my grandfather every Sunday. Has for 10 years. Edward's face didn't change. "The relationship is professional, nothing inappropriate." "You paid him," Evan said. "That's slander." "It's the truth." Edward climbed the steps. Luke moved to block him, but 2 police officers were faster. They grabbed Luke's arms. "Sir, step aside," one of them said. "No." "Sir, we will arrest you for obstruction." "Then arrest me." The officers looked at each other. The crowd was growing, more neighbors arriving, more phones recording. This was being broadcast live to hundreds of thousands of people. "Stand down," Edward said to the officers. "Let the man make his choice. Some people need to learn the hard way." He turned to Evan. "Come with me, now." Evan didn't move. He stayed on the steps between Anna and Maya, his small face set with determination. "I'm not going." "You don't have a choice. I'm a human being. I always have a choice. You're 7 years old." "So that doesn't make me property." Edward's mask slipped. Real anger flashed across his face. I am trying to save you from a mentally unstable woman who has dragged you across the country for 6 months, who has filled your head with lies about me, who is using you to access your inheritance. She's my mother, Evan said, and she's the only one who loves me. I love you. You love what I'm worth. The crowd murmured. Phones captured every word. Edward seemed to realize he was losing the public relations battle. He turned to the officers. Retrieve the child. Sir, that's an order. The court order is clear. The child is in danger. Retrieve him. The officers moved toward the porch. The crowd pushed closer. Someone started shouting, then another person, then everyone. Leave them alone. Let the boy choose. This is wrong. The officers stopped. One of them, the young one from before, looked at Edward. Sir, with all due respect, the child doesn't appear to be in immediate danger. Perhaps we should wait for social services to— I don't pay you to think, Edward snapped. I pay you to follow orders. The officer's face went hard. I'm a police officer. I don't work for you. Everyone works for me. They just don't all know it yet. That was a mistake. Luke saw it immediately. Edward had said the quiet part loud, on camera, being broadcast live. The officer stepped back. I'm not doing this. Then you're fired. You can't fire me. I don't work for you. Your chief does, and your chief's budget comes from the county, and the county's largest donor is me. So yes, I can fire you. I can fire all of you. The other officers looked at each other. Then one by one, they stepped back too. Edward's face went purple. What are you doing? Our job, the young officer said, which is protecting people, not kidnapping children for rich men. This is not kidnapping. I have a court order. Then take it to social services. Let them handle it properly. But we're not dragging a screaming child away from his mother while half the country watches. Edward turned to his security team. Get the boy. The security guards, big men in black suits, moved toward the porch. The crowd surged forward, people shouting, phones recording, complete chaos. Then Maya screamed, not a scared scream, an angry scream, loud and shrill and full of rage. Everyone froze. Maya stood up, her small body shaking. You can't have him. He's my brother. He's my family. And you can't just take people's family because you have money. Tears streamed down her face. Her inhaler fell from her hand and clattered on the porch. She was gasping, starting to wheeze. Maya. Luke broke free from the officers and ran to her. He grabbed her inhaler. Breathe, baby. Slow breaths. She couldn't. Her chest heaved, panic in her eyes. Evan was at her side immediately. Maya, look at me. Count with me. Remember, in for 4. Maya tried, failed, tried again. The security guards had stopped. Everyone had stopped. Because here was this little girl, this sick little girl, fighting to breathe while crying over a boy who wasn't even blood-related, and it was being broadcast live to over 1 million people. Edward's lawyer whispered something urgent in his ear. He shook her off. This is exactly why the boy needs to leave, he said loudly. This environment is toxic. These people are using him. They're making him think he belongs here when he belongs with family. I am his family, Anna said. Her voice was steady now, strong. I'm his mother, the woman who gave birth to him, the woman who nursed him through every fever and celebrated every achievement and held him when he cried for his father. What are you? A man who sees dollar signs when he looks at his grandson. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you come to this place, these good people's homes, and try to bully a child into submission? How dare you use badges and papers and lawyers to steal someone's son? Anna walked down the steps. Her ribs screamed, but she ignored them. She stood face to face with Edward. You killed Marcus. I know it. You know it. And someday I'll prove it. But even if I can't, even if you get away with murder, you will not have my son. I will fight you until my last breath. I will make noise and cause problems and be the biggest pain in your ass you've ever had, because I'm his mother, and that means something. Edward stared at her. You can't win. Maybe not. But I can make you lose. A phone rang. Edward's phone. He answered it, his eyes never leaving Anna. His face changed, went pale, then red, then pale again. I see, he said. No, don't do anything. I'm handling it. He hung up, looked at his lawyer. The FBI just opened Marcus's safety deposit box. They found evidence, documents, recordings, everything. The lawyer's face went white. Edward turned to Evan. Your father was a fool. He thought he could outsmart me. He thought hiding evidence would protect him. It just got him killed faster. The crowd gasped. Someone shouted. Edward seemed to realize what he'd said, but it was too late. The words were out, on camera, broadcast live. That's a confession, the young officer said. He pulled out his handcuffs. Edward Marchand, you're under arrest for, you have no authority. I have plenty of authority, and about 1 million witnesses. Edward's security moved. The officer pulled his gun. Other officers pulled theirs. Everyone started yelling. Then a new voice cut through the chaos. Everyone calm down. Detective Chen pushed through the crowd. She held up her badge. FBI, Mr. Marchand, I need you to come with me. We have questions about the evidence we found in your son's safety deposit box. Questions about government contract fraud. Questions about your son's death. I'm not saying anything without my lawyers. That's your right, but you're coming with me anyway. She nodded to 2 agents behind her. They moved forward with handcuffs. Edward looked around, at the cameras, at the crowd, at Evan standing on the porch with tears streaming down his face. This isn't over, he said. Yeah, Detective Chen said. It really is. They led him away. His lawyers followed already on their phones. His security team stood around looking lost. The police officers started directing people back to their vehicles. The crowd erupted, cheering, crying, hugging. Jack Thompson pumped his fist in the air. Mrs. Patterson was sobbing. Maria Martinez was on her phone already spreading the news. Anna's legs gave out. Luke caught her before she fell. Is it really over? She whispered. I don't know. But we won today. That's enough. Evan ran to his mother. She pulled him close, both of them crying. Maya wrapped her arms around both of them. Luke held all 3 and felt something break open in his chest. Not pain, relief, pure, overwhelming relief. Detective Chen came over. Mrs. Marchand, we need to talk. The evidence in that box, it's extensive. Financial records, recordings of Marcus talking about what he'd found. Even a video will explaining everything. Marcus knew he was in danger. He prepared for this. What happens now? Anna asked. Now we build a case. It'll take months, maybe years. But we have enough to charge Edward with fraud. The murder will be harder to prove, but we'll try. In the meantime, the custody case is suspended. You keep Evan. Edward won't be allowed near either of you. He'll get out on bail, probably, but he'll be under restrictions, and the court of public opinion has already convicted him. That video of him basically admitting to murder, that's going to follow him forever. Anna sagged against Luke. Thank you. Thank Marcus. He's the one who made this possible. After Detective Chen left, the neighbors started leaving too. Each one stopped to hug Anna, to tell Evan he was brave to shake Luke's hand. By noon, only Jack remained. You did good, he told Luke. Real good. We all did. Yeah, but you started it. You're the one who stopped on that road. You're the one who brought them home. Luke looked at Anna and Evan and Maya sitting on the porch together. Best decision I ever made. Jack smiled. Your grandfather would be proud. I hope so. After Jack left, they went inside. Maya and Evan collapsed on the couch, exhausted. Anna tried to help make lunch, but Luke made her sit down. You need rest. I need to process what just happened. Process while resting. She smiled. You're very bossy. You're very stubborn. We make a good team. Luke stopped, looked at her. Yeah, we do. Something passed between them. Understanding, recognition. The beginning of something neither of them was ready to name yet. They ate lunch together, sandwiches and chips. Maya told Evan about every person who'd stood with them. Evan listened and smiled and looked more like a kid than Luke had ever seen him. After lunch, Evan went to the workshop to work on a new project. Maya followed him. Luke and Anna sat on the porch with coffee. "What happens now?" Luke asked. "I don't know. We can't go back to Chicago. Too many memories, too many people who believed Edward." "You could stay here." Anna looked at him. "Luke, I'm serious. This cabin's small, but we could add on. Build another bedroom, maybe 2. I've got the skills. The neighbors would help." "We can't ask that." "You're not asking. I'm offering." "Why?" Luke thought about it, about the last 3 days, about how alive he'd felt, how purposeful. Because Maya needs Evan. Because Evan needs stability. Because you need somewhere safe to heal. He paused. "And because I need all of you. Turns out I was dying up here alone. Didn't even realize it until you showed up." Anna's eyes filled with tears. "We're a mess." "So am I. We come with complications, legal battles, media attention. Edward's not going to give up just because he was arrested. I know. You could have a normal life. Find someone without all this baggage." "I don't want normal. Normal's boring. I want this, you, Evan, this weird, broken, beautiful family we're building." Anna laughed and cried at the same time. "You're insane." "Yeah, well, you already knew that." She reached over and took his hand. Okay, we'll stay, for now. See how it goes." "See how it goes," Luke agreed. They sat in silence, holding hands, watching the kids through the workshop window. Evan was showing Maya how to solder circuits. Maya was taking notes in her little notebook, both of them laughing. That night, after the kids went to bed, Luke and Anna sat outside under the stars. The mountain was quiet, peaceful, like the chaos of the day had never happened. "My grandfather used to say something," Luke said. "He'd say you become home for someone else, that's when you know you're alive." Took me a long time to understand what he meant. And now I get it. Home isn't a place, it's people. It's choosing to show up for someone even when it's hard, even when it costs you everything. Anna leaned against his shoulder. "Marcus used to say something similar. He'd say the only thing that matters in the end is who you loved and who loved you back. Everything else is just noise." Smart man. Yeah, he was. They watched the stars come out one by one. Somewhere in the distance, an owl called. The wind moved through the trees. Everything felt still, suspended, like the world was holding its breath. "Thank you," Anna whispered, "for everything. Thank you for trusting me. I didn't have much choice." "You always had a choice. You chose to trust. That's brave." She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I'm terrified of what comes next. The legal battles, the media, Edward's lawyers, of it." "Me too. But we'll face it together, all of us. That's what family does." Anna turned to look at him. "Is that what we are, family?" Luke thought about Maya calling Evan her brother, about Evan calling this place home, about how natural it felt to have them all here. "Yeah," he said, "I think we are." She smiled. "Good, because I don't think we could leave now if we tried. Maya would never forgive us. Neither would Evan. Neither would I." They sat together until the moon rose high and the cold drove them inside. The cabin was warm. The kids were sleeping peacefully in the loft. Everything felt right in a way Luke couldn't quite explain. He helped Anna to bed, made sure she had water and pain medication within reach. She caught his hand before he could leave. "Stay," she said. "Just for a minute. I don't want to be alone." So he sat on the edge of the bed and held her hand while she drifted off. He watched her face relax in sleep, the lines of pain and fear smoothing out. She looked younger, peaceful. Luke thought about the last 4 years, about shutting himself away on this mountain, about convincing himself that isolation was safety, about how wrong he'd been. You couldn't hide from life. You could only choose how you lived it, and he was choosing this, choosing to be brave, choosing to love people who needed him, choosing to be home for someone else. It wasn't easy, it wasn't safe, but it was real, and that mattered more than anything. He stood up carefully and went to check on the kids. They were tangled together in the loft, Evan's arm thrown over Maya, both of them snoring softly. Brother and sister in everything but blood. Luke climbed down and settled into his chair one last time. Tomorrow he'd start building that addition. 2 bedrooms, at least, maybe 3. This family was going to need space. His phone buzzed, a message from Jack. The video hit 10 million views. "You're famous." Luke smiled and turned off his phone. He didn't want famous. He wanted this quiet cabin full of people he loved. This found family built from broken pieces. Outside the mountain stood guard, strong and steady and unmovable. Luke closed his eyes and let himself believe that maybe, just maybe, they'd be okay. Not perfect, not easy, but okay. And sometimes okay was enough. Sometimes okay was everything.